Hello, welcome to Move to Japan. I am Nathan, the creator and host of this channel, and today's video is the third in the series of conversational videos where we speak to somebody who's moved from their own country to Japan. These people are a great source of information and insights where they share their experiences about moving to Japan, whether it's about visas, finding work, accommodation, learning the language, cultural differences, so many other different things that we might not even think of. So if you're looking to move to Japan or just have an interest in Japan like myself, then these videos are a great way to learn a little bit more about Japan and living and moving to Japan. So today's video is with Millie, who's moved from Scotland to Japan, currently lives in Nagoya. So I'd like to thank Millie for taking the time to do this video with us today and share her experiences. So without further ado, let's get over to the conversation and see what she has to say. Let's go. Thanks for Millie for joining me today and having a conversation video with us today. So tell us about moving to Japan. Why did you move over there?
Okay, konnichiwa. Well, I've got actually a very easy description, and you can probably see some of my background. I have one big reason for coming to Japan, and it is because I love video games. Okay. So yeah, big gamer here, mostly Nintendo, but I've played lots of other stuff too. But yeah, I basically ever since I was young and the Pokemon anime came out, I was like, yeah, I want to go where that stuff is. Of course, over the years, I learned that the Pokemon do not actually exist in this country, but with all the merchandising that they have here, they might as well.
yeah, there's a lot of misconceptions about cultural things like Pokemon. People think they exist, and things that I think in the UK, things like Sherlock Holmes and stuff, people think he existed and things like that because it's so ingrained in culture, but they don't really. So yeah, this is quite obviously a popular thing, Pokemon and anime and manga and all that type of stuff, and video games obviously very big in Japan, obviously with Nintendo, and obviously Sony got the PlayStation as well, so it's a big deal over there.
Yeah, I was like, what can I do that involves going to Japan? Like, how can I go and make a living there? And yeah, English teaching is a big thing, so yep. I ended up getting a certificate online, and yeah, I just booked myself a flight over, and luckily the place where I'm teaching, the head teacher is actually British, so I was like, okay, I know I'm talking to someone who also is fluent in English. But yeah, basically that has been a very good entry point. I know a lot of people will come over with their businesses, but yeah, if you're willing to take the plunge, I definitely recommend English teaching as a path.
Yeah, definitely. I know it's quite a popular one. I know there's a lot of famous YouTubers who've done like Chris Broad and a few others that went there to do the English teacher, and that's how they got in the first place. But that's definitely a route I'd look into. So definitely look into it. When I've looked into it, because I'm a little bit older than most people look into it. I'm 43, so I think people like the JET program, things like that, tend to look for people who are a little bit younger. Under 30, under 40 sometimes, or might be a little bit too old for going into that type of thing. But it's definitely something that I would like to go into and be interested in doing. But I think I'm probably going to try going into a field related to my degree. I'm doing a degree right now in sales and marketing route. So if I can find something in there, then I'll definitely do that over before the English tutoring. But the main goal is
like the main thing for English teaching is you need a degree from university. So I actually did computing, but English teaching, they're you've got a degree, so that's the most important thing. So
that was a big thing. That was the main thing. Originally, when I thought, okay, when I moved to Japan, there was the English tutoring thing, tutoring. So I thought, okay, I haven't got a degree, I need to get one of them now. So I've got 3 years now to learn as much about Japan and the language as possible and get a degree sorted, and then I can go over there. And cool. It's definitely something I want to do. It seems to a lot of people I've spoken to seem to have really enjoyed doing that type of thing, but it can be hit and miss. I know there's some people I've spoken to that didn't like it at all.
I would say it's not for everyone.
Yeah. So yeah. Are you still there? You were
But
frozen
there
before.
are basically like if you get along, you'll have no problem. But there is definitely a skill to be learned.
Yeah.
We got
Yeah, we're kind of breaking up a little bit there, but
some
yes.
internet difficulties.
Yes, we have a little bit, yeah. But yes, and there's some, you need to basically get on with the people you're working with and the students and stuff in English tutoring to teaching to get on well, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yeah, I think just social skills are the most important. No matter what your language capability is, you're
yeah. So, I mean, are there any suggestions around that? I mean, what would you
just
do
social skills
to,
in general.
yeah.
Appreciate
Just
it.
general, there's no specific thing they'd look out for to maybe do things in the community, or they want you to maybe go for a drink after work and be generally.
It's just, if you've ever had like a job in customer service, then I think you're sorted. Just being able to please people and say, oh yeah, that's great. And I think British people have a natural advantage because we're generally a bit polite. I know a lot of Americans here, and I'm like, they're a bit more direct. And I think Japanese are very much more take it back a little.
Yes,
so the one thing I noticed was different from my first imagination of the Japanese people was I thought that I would be extremely chastised if I forgot to use san or the right politeness level like this at the end. You get a pretty big pass if you're an obvious foreigner. I think a lot of the people who are half Japanese, half something else, and they come from another country, they are expected to know the language. But if you're as obvious looking as I am that you're a foreigner, they generally do. They're quite lenient. They're quite like patient with you if you're trying to. Also, the English level. I'm near a big city, so there is a lot of people around here who have a basic English level, but it depends where you end up. Like if you're in the countryside, I think you might be the only English speaker for a while. Google has been my savior. Have a smartphone and you'll be fine.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, just learning the language, read the language, and have communication. Normal conversations with people is going to be difficult at the start. So that's obviously it's good to know at least some Japanese before you go over there if you can learn it. So it's
good for you to know the hiragana and the katakana. Like hiragana is like the basic one. I think as long as you've got those two, nobody expects you to know kanji. Nobody, because even the Japanese themselves, kanji is a bit tough. So
I think as long as you got the kind of the meanings of the most popular ones, I guess, is probably a couple of thousand that use more than other ones. So as long as you know them, I can get the gist of what's
anything that's just like daily life, you'll get to know. But honestly, like as far as shop people and they're all very enthusiastic, more so in the past 2 years, like enthusiastic to try use their English. There's a lot of them. I think it's actually mandatory now that in elementary school you have to take English. So a lot of them are, oh, it's a foreigner. Yeah, I get to try out my English. It's actually quite nice. But as a result, my Japanese has not been very good. I've not improved as much as I would have liked. Because everyone's like, I want to speak English. Okay.
I mean, it's good for making friends, I guess. If you go into a shop and they want to have a chat with you and get to know you and speak English, it's good at making friends, I guess, and it makes it easier for that social side of things, I guess.
No foreigners because of the pandemic. They're like, I'm forgetting it. So they're a bit more enthusiastic than usual.
Okay. Do you think that Japan are missing the fact there's no foreigners come in generally, or do you think it's kind of the opposite?
It depends on the person, like anyone. There's some people in Britain who are like, get all the foreigners out of here, and there's some people who are like, talking to new people. But I think overall, like I've never felt unwelcome here. There's always been this kind of okay, it's somebody who's instantly identified as a foreigner. Like, I've never directly felt, but I also feel because Japan is like kind of nuanced, and if there are people who are, oh god, then they'll probably just go. Like,
Yeah.
they don't like, it's not like some places where they come up, hey, what are you doing here? They'll just, yeah, they'll just be
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
all right.
yeah. They won't be confrontational. They'll be kind of standoffish, and they'll avoid you more than anything else, I guess.
All right, I'm going somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because from a lot of the stuff I've read and seen from obviously in Britain on LinkedIn or other websites is that Japan just don't want foreigners in there because during COVID whatsoever, you keep everybody out and stuff like that because of COVID, and I think it's kind of fair enough if you obviously don't want COVID spreading in the community from people who are on holiday or whatever. So I can understand that, but if from on the inside it's kind of people are generally not like that, then it's kind of a misconception in Western media, I guess, that it's kind of like that. But hey ho, that's a whole different video, I guess. So talk about that for hours. So yeah, cool. So you go there for English teaching. Obviously, did the organization that you get the teaching with sort out your visa and things like that?
Yeah, it's a relatively small company. I'm sure they won't mind me name dropping. It's the Bohme English Academy, but they're actually based in a city north of me, but they have many branches now.
Yeah.
But yeah, they started off quite small, but yeah, I think we've got about 100 employees or something now, like overall. And yeah, it's like in the school that I work, there's only like 5, but
Yeah.
there's the Japanese bilingual staff,
Yeah.
so they like, that's another reason my Japanese hasn't got better. All my coworkers speak English too, so like, yeah, I was basically, I came and they were like, okay, so you have some trainings. Like I said, I did an online course, and so I had a rough idea of what to expect, but yeah, they did basic training for me, like showed me around the place. They sorted out my visa, they got my accommodation sorted, and yeah, most places that you work with will sponsor your visa, especially if you're doing full-time work. Like, that's a necessary thing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
it's also
course,
mandatory now that if you are here, you sign up for a pension, so your work will also like sort your pension and stuff out for you too.
Okay, that's great. That's something I've learned from this video. Then is just that from other videos I've done like this, they've about bank accounts. You needed 3 months to get a bank account and other things like that. And so that's if you need to start up a pension as soon as you get there, then that's
yeah. Okay, so the biggest piece of advice I would have, because of things I personally suffered from, is get your taxes sorted out, because it's the American tax system. It's, you have to declare stuff and you have to talk to the people yourself. And I was not ready for this. I was ready for the UK system of, oh, my employer will sort that out for me. Yeah, no, I got hit with some back bills because basically I went to City Hall and they were like, oh, okay, so you need to pay this. And I'm like, oh. And they were like, oh, you haven't been paying it? And I'm like, no. And they're like, ah. So yeah, got hit very hard. So you definitely got to make sure you're paying all the right taxes. Like residency tax is one you have to sign up for yourself, like whichever prefecture you're in. Yeah, like just making sure that your tax declarations are being signed up like properly. And yeah, it's there's a lot of paperwork, but there are guides on the internet. And again, your employer should help you out with it. After I went to my employer, they were like, oh, we didn't know you didn't know this. And I'm like,
yeah. Yeah, it's a quite important thing. If you end up leaving the country, you haven't paid the taxes, you might not be able to go back or anything like that, then it affects you long term coming back to the country and doing more tutoring or teaching, doing more stuff.
I had no idea we had it so good in the UK, where they kind of just have a central government person doing that instead of you having to do it yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I guess it's quite similar with the NHS as well. Obviously, taxes are done for us in the UK, and obviously NHS is free.
Yeah.
So
again, health service is not free here, so you got to sign up for that too. But
I've got asthma and underactive thyroid, so I definitely need to get health insurance and all that sorted to be able to get my medication. So I don't know how much that's going to cost. So yeah, learn how to do tax, learn how to sort my health insurance out, and God knows what else. So cool. So yeah, I mean, how did you learn to do the taxes? Was that just talking to the people you worked with, or was it a online service you used?
Yeah. Like I talked to the people that I work for, and they were like, okay, if you like tell us which ones they asked you for, because I had to go to City Hall, and City Hall were like, da, 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 and I'm like, okay. And then I went to my employer and said, I need this. And they're like, okay. They helped me fill out the forms. We got everything sorted now, but it was kind of a hump to get over. I was just oh my God.
Yeah. And hopefully that bills weren't too expensive where you could just, okay, I've got that money now, there it is. So hopefully it wasn't a big surprise for you as well. Okay, that's fair enough. Get the taxes sorted. Okay, cool. So do you try and stay over there, just renew a year, or do you come back to the UK and go back every time you do it, or?
I would love to be revisiting the UK right now, because my sister actually had a baby during this whole COVID nonsense. But yeah, I haven't been able to go back not because I haven't been able to leave, but it's the re-entry. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I quite like the job I'm doing, and I would like to come back to it. And unfortunately, the quarantine rules have been kind of strict. And there was at first, oh no, you can't come back, and then you'll have to quarantine for 3 weeks. And I'm like, that means I have to take a month off my job, and I don't think I can do that. Like,
no, yeah, it'd be a bit of a pain. So yeah, I'm not sure if they'll change eventually. The next couple of months, I think they'll probably change, hopefully, and then you can just come back in the summer then, where the weather's going to be a bit nicer and not as hot as Japan in the summer. So,
yeah. Oh my God, don't get me started. So that is a thing. If you are in central or southern Japan, the summer is brutal. Like I said, as a Scot, I was just not prepared for this. I am half African, so I'm like, please channel my African side. But I'm born and raised in Scotland, so unfortunately it didn't really happen. It was like 30, 35, I think nearly 40 at one point. I was just like, I can't go outside.
I'm dreading that. It doesn't get as cold as Scotland, where I'm in Cardiff in Wales, and it gets decent. It gets 25, edges up to 30 sometimes in the summer. So that's hot enough. If it goes above 25, I can't move. I think
you'll need to go to the northern area of Japan.
I just can't move. So I'll just be I think I'll try and find work up in Sapporo or something like that and see what happens up there. I think so. Get as far up as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the northern part of the main island is kind of a lot cooler as well. It'd have to be on the Hokkaido to get that, I guess. So,
I've heard lots of people say Hokkaido is pretty similar to Scotland and Canada.
Okay, yeah. From the pictures and stuff I've seen with all the snow and stuff, you can get it's very similar to that. So I think that'll probably be the opposite of the scale, where it would be too cold for me. So I kind of need to be in a happy medium where it doesn't get above 25 at all and doesn't go below 10 degrees. So that'll be my perfect weather. And if I'm kind of in between then.
Another thing that comes with the heat is the mosquitoes.
Okay,
which then not a thing in the UK, but here, and I have an allergy to them, which is the worst part, because I got bit and they were like, oh yeah, it'll get red and itchy, and it was like, whoop, I was like a Looney Tunes character, just swole up. I was just like, oh my God. So yeah, I've got lots of sprays and stuff to like keep them away from me. It's not a fun time.
Right, okay. I didn't think it's the first I've heard about mosquitoes being a problem in Japan. So it's I guess it is.
Every summer you see all of the shops, they will have mosquito repellent. They've got these little incense coils. I think think I had them. I put them away because it's not summer, but they're like incense that's in a like coil shape, and it burns around in the coil, and it's a specific scent that they don't like. And yeah, very, very popular model here.
Okay.
And there's also a thing you can plug into your wall, which is like the airwaves thing, but it's keto repellent, and it's very effective.
Okay, so I'll definitely have one of them in every room in my place of residence. And so, and I'll probably carry one around. We have one around my waist when I'm out and about then as well. Just,
there is no worse hell than 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh God, it's gonna get me.
There's noise as well, is it? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Well, you don't hear them until they're right next to you, which is why when you're sleeping, because it's actually your breath that attracts them. So when you're sleeping, they'll be near your face, and that's when you hear the.
Okay. Okay, that's fair enough. So I'll keep an eye on that then when I come over then. So I didn't realise mosquitoes were that much of a problem. So I'll keep an eye on it. I guess it's especially the southern parts are quite tropical, so I should have kind of.
I was gonna say, maybe in Sapporo, no, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, this is like Okinawa, which are quite tropical, and southern parts of Japan, which are tropical. You do think mosquitoes would be a problem? I just don't associate Japan with that type of thing. But obviously, other parts of the world, I would, but not Japan for some reason. So that's a good thing that you pointed that out as well. So cool. Learning a lot from you today. Learning a lot. So I'll go up to the northern end of the mainland, I think. So that's the kind of where I need to be. Maybe Sendai or above. Maybe, I don't know.
That's where all the nature will be too, because there's a lot of mountains and stuff in Japan, but the nature can be far and few between sometimes. If you're in the cities, it's kind of like
yeah. I guess it's the same with any country. Obviously, you got Wales and Scotland, the countryside is beautiful. You got like Ben Nevis and also amazing, beautiful country in Scotland, and obviously Wales has got some nice bits as well, Bacon and Snowdon and Gower and stuff like that as well. So it's nice to get out and about there sometimes. So it's definitely when I'm in Japan, I'll want to go out and see some of the countryside as well. So definitely to get them on 4G.
The train network will have you sorted. You can go anywhere. It's so good. Like, I love the Shinkansen. It's the bullet train. It's so much fun.
Do you think you need to drive if you need to go and see a lot of places? Is it important
to drive? It's an advantage. I'm currently in the prefecture, which has the most cars. Like, I think it's the highest car concentration of all the prefectures, but maybe but like, I'm in Aichi, and that area is known for its car manufacturers, and as such, everybody has one, and it's just everything's connected by highways. And it's an advantage, but I don't have a car, and I've been doing fine, so it's not an essential purchase, but it's an advantage.
I mean, the one time I've been to Japan, I was in Tokyo. Obviously, Tokyo is its own country, its own way of doing things, and the logistics of the public transport, the trains and buses seemed to be so much better than in the UK. Everything was on time, everything stopped exactly where it should be, and was going exactly where it should have been. Nothing got cancelled. Everything was clean, everything. So that could be just a Tokyo thing. Is it kind of like that? Is it good in even the not so populated areas as well, do you think?
Again, I've only been really in the city areas. The city I'm in is quite a modern one because it was more of all these kind of big towns are just connected together. And I've been using the train all the time, and it's pretty well connected where I am, but I'm in the middle of Japan. So I've been able to go to all the major cities. But I imagine if you're in one of the more isolated areas, you're going to have to get a car.
Okay. I got a feeling that if I end up living in Japan, then I'll go to the major cities. All the major cities for what they offer, Osaka or Kyoto or wherever. But then beyond that, then if I wanted to go to a certain village or a certain thing that's famous for something well known, they maybe wouldn't be a well connected train network going there or a bus going there quite regularly, so would need to drive.
The trains have been here for a long time, so there's some quite good, well-connected areas. But yeah, like it really just depends.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's because I compare it to Wales a lot, because the South Wales is quite connected quite well. I think, and then North Wales is connected quite well in Wales. But then to get from bottom to the top of Wales, it's not very connected very well. So it's not really, you couldn't get public transport that's going from the bottom to north, and you got to go into England and up and then back in up north. So it's not very well connected, and I hope it will be better than that in Japan.
Yeah.
But,
no, the train network here is pretty comprehensive.
Yeah. So, but obviously, I don't drive right now. I haven't got a license or anything, so I'm planning by the end of my degree, by the time I can get to Japan, and to be able to learn to drive anyway. But if for some reason that gets delayed or doesn't happen, then I can rely on public transport quite well. So, so it sounds like, at least for the most part, getting city to city, it's quite connected, quite easy to get around. So cool. Cool. So, was there any, apart from you mentioned the tax being a bit of a shock to you, was there anything else that was maybe more culturally that was a bit of a surprise, a bit different to what you expected?
I'm going to admit right now, it was a bit of a Japan file before I came here. So there's a lot of the culture I'd already studied. Stuff like when my coworkers invited me to go to the onsen, I was just like, oh, okay, here we go. Public bath. Yeah, so I was ready for that. Like, I'm trying to think. The politeness, again, if you're British, I don't know what your viewership will be, but yeah, if you're British, I think you'll be okay with the level of politeness. If you're maybe from America or different country with different societal rules, then yes, get ready to be a bit more polite.
Yeah. You mentioned being a customer service before, and I've done that for most of my career in customer service, retail or hospitality, or whatever. So I'll be okay with that, I think. So I think I'd probably fit into that type of culture more than I would America anyway, because I think they're a bit too direct.
Like, there is a thing. So Japan is trying its hardest to be more progressive as it comes to the whole woman and man, thing. Yeah. I do admit that there has been kind of like, I mean, again, I've got short hair, I don't wear makeup. There is occasionally you're a boy, huh? And I'm like, no. Just not the traditional looking female. So they are kind of very, I wouldn't say set in stone, but they are very traditionalist when it comes to women should be dainty and beautiful and men should be big and strong. And there's still kind of that kind of feeling with a lot of the like fashion. But again, Japan is a interesting country in that it's got that, but it's also got the opposite of that, in that I was literally walking through the train station yesterday and I saw a man like fully dressed as like a schoolgirl. And I was like, okay, like they are definitely a country of, like I said, non-confrontational. If you're doing something weird, they're just going to let you do it. Get ready to be silently judged, but silently nonetheless. I would say.
I don't see that type of thing often. Obviously, people dressed as something else, unless there's some kind of event going on, like a cosplay event or something. You don't really see that many people wearing something beyond what you do, but it's seen as normal, I guess. So you don't see it very often. So when I do walk, very rarely see my man wearing a school uniform or whatever, or a dress or something you wouldn't expect them to wear, or vice versa. Then he's wearing a dress or something.
The city I grew up in was fairly international, so I saw a lot of like people from around the world. So a lot of, I wouldn't say weird stuff, but a lot of out of the normal stuff, and so I kind of got used to that. So when I got here, I was quite pleased to see it, but I have heard my friends, my Japanese friends, being like, "Oh, what's going on there?" And like, "Oh, isn't but just being like, "It's fine, as long as they're not hurting anybody, whatever."
Exactly. So if they enjoy themselves and they're not harming anybody, then crack on, do whatever you want to. So So I think I remember there was one guy about 2 weeks ago. I was walking past along the river. In my city, and there was a guy dressed as a fox. He had like a fox shoes and a tail and everything on, and I think he was trying to be Fantastic Mr. Fox from the Roald Dahl books. So I think he was just dressed up as that, and he was just walking on his own down into the town centre. I was like, okay, he's going to some kind of event dressed up as a fox. But you don't see it very often unless there's some kind of cosplay event or comic event or something going on, and you just don't see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. So I'm trying to think of what else I can ask you now. I don't really want to pick your brains and get as much information as I can off you, but is there anything else you wanted to say on the video, or wanted to mention?
You know what? I'm sure we'll have many more episodes of this. So I'm honestly like.
Yeah, the internet. Yeah. Cool.
So for today, that's fine.
Yeah.
One
Okay.
thing
Cool.
I will say is that again, I hope you're okay with the plugs. I will be starting up. I started doing some streaming of games recently. My current channel on YouTube, it's really annoying. I will have to change the name for it, but it's currently Ziggy 2007 DN. But I'm gonna try and make it more, easy to say name. But generally, I'll be going under Ziggy. And I'm going to be doing some Let's Plays coming out, so just plug in myself there.
Okay, that's completely fine. Send me some links. I'll put them in the description of this video, and people can check them out. Same with the English teaching business you work with as well. You mentioned them earlier. So if you want to send me links to your YouTube streaming stuff and them or anything else, we'll put them in the description, and people can check them out as well. So no problem at all. And if you want me on any videos, I don't do any that type of stuff. But if you want me on one of the videos for a laugh, then why not, for return the favour?
I'll be like, I did an interview.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So cool. So obviously, thanks for having the chat today. It's really informative and fun. So thanks very much, and we'll have another chat soon.
Yeah, I'll give you a Japanese greeting to sign out on. Ja matane.
Matane, okay. That's goodbye, and the other one's ja matane is see you soon, isn't it? See you soon. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Sorry, one more time.
Is it so sayonara is obviously goodbye. Is ja matane see you soon?
Matane, yeah, matane is like see you.
See you. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I thought so. I got all these Japanese books behind me. I thought I'd learned that properly, but
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Best of luck with the Nihongo.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, cool. So cool. So there we go. Thank you so much, Millie, for that great conversation there. So much insight and information there, especially about the taxes, and it's good to be social when you're in Japan, so you can make friends and enjoy your experiences there that little bit more as well. So I've learned a lot, and hopefully you guys watching have as well. Let us know what you think of the video in the comments, and if you've enjoyed this video and enjoyed my other videos as well, feel free to check them out, and don't forget to subscribe and click the notification button as well. And what I've also done as well is posted a couple of links in the description to Millie's content. Millie's got a blog about holidays in Japan, and she's got a YouTube as well, and a couple of other things there that she wanted me to share with you. So have a look in the description and have a look at her content as well. So it's pretty good, and you might like it as well. So head over there to have a look and subscribe to her channels as well. So thanks for watching, guys, and again thanks, Millie, for taking the time to have this conversation. Really appreciate it, and have a good day, guys. Thanks for watching.